Hello everyone and welcome to my official YouTube channel right here, AWM Studios Productions. If you have yet to do so, please subscribe and click that bell icon so that you get notified every single time I drop a video right here on YouTube. And while you're at it, check me out on TikTok and check out our official merch store, bonfire.com/store/AWM Studios. All the links to our merch store and other social media pages will be down in the description box below. Check them out. Follow us everywhere that you can. And like I said, subscribe here. And check out my friend's YouTube channel, my second YouTube channel that he runs, All Wrestling Madness. Subscribe to him there. And stay tuned for more podcast episodes where I do with him, where we talk WWE and many, 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 many more topics. Not just WWE, but we also talk music, movies, etc. You get it. So subscribe here for more videos and subscribe to my second channel, All Wrestling Madness, run by him. Thank you again, and let's get into today's video, the longevity of WWF/WWE Championship belts. Who won them, when they won them, and how long they held them for. Let's get into today's video. First off, we have Buddy Rogers, who won it for the first time in 1963 and only held it for 21 days. Then we have Pedro Morales, who won it in 1971 and held it for 1,027 days. Bruno Sammartino won it in 1973 and held it for 1,237 days. Wow, that's quite a bit of a record there already. And this is only in the beginning. Now you also have Hulk Hogan, who won it and held it for 1,474 days. And the reason why I'm making this video to begin with is because Roman Reigns' record is, in modern times, one of the best records of a champion that you could ever have. So, in my opinion, that's basically what I'm trying to get at, is that Roman Reigns is holding the belt longer than any champion in history thus far, as we're seeing on this list. Hulk Hogan winning it again and only holding it for a day. Ric Flair held it for 77 days before he had to drop it. Ric Flair then won it again in 1992 in September of that year and held it for another 41 days. Bret Hart won it for 174 days in October of 92. Yokozuna won it twice, the second time holding it for 280 days. Wow, that's a record. Seriously. Bret Hart held it for 248 days the second time. Then you had Diesel, who held it for 358 days. Wow. Then you had Shawn Michaels, who held it for 231 days. That's quite a feat. Seriously. Bret Hart, who held it again only for a single day. Sid Justice, or as they wrote it there, Sid UD, held it for 34 days. So you see, the names sometimes start to repeat itself because they won the belt multiple times and held it for even longer sometimes, or even shorter sometimes, depending on what their title reign was. Stone Cold Steve Austin held it for 90 days that time, back in 1998. Mick Foley, or Mankind, held it for 20 days in 1999. The Rock held it for only 7 days that time. 41 days that time. So you see what I'm getting at, basically. So let me stop the chain here. What I'm trying to get at in today's episode of this video is that through all these records, all these amazing champions, that Roman Reigns' record is untouchable in today's time. Yeah, there were probably people who held it longer in the past, in like 60s, 70s, 80s, but at the same time, Roman Reigns is the modern day version of someone like Bruno Sammartino or the modern day Hulk Hogan, someone that has held the championship in one reign longer than he did in any of his other previous reigns. So, to make a long story short, Roman Reigns is that great of a superstar, that great of a caliber of an athlete in today's modern times. And why do I bring up Roman Reigns exactly? Because what we got is basically a possible match between The Rock and Roman Reigns, or vice versa, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, to finish off his story from last WrestleMania last year. So, I want to know down in the comments below. I really want to start interacting with you guys, so let me know down in the comments below. Who do you guys want to see? Do you want to see Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes? Or do you want to see Roman Reigns versus his cousin, The Rock? Who would you like to see better at a WrestleMania event? And what kind of a story would you tell if it was The Rock? If you did choose The Rock, what kind of a story would you put together for a reason for The Rock to actually be there? Because what we got on Monday of last week was that The Rock came in and basically said, "Oh, I'm only here because..." Well, he didn't say all that. He basically said, in a nutshell, that he came back for a promo thing with Jinder Mahal. And then after that, he cut a short promo about being at the head of the table, which was like a little nudge to us, the audience, basically where he's like, "I'm going to face Roman Reigns." But is that at the Rumble? Is that going to be at the event after the Rumble? Is that going to be at WrestleMania? In my opinion, you could do Roman Reigns twice. If you're going to do Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, you could do Roman Reigns versus The Rock on the first night, even if you put it for the belt. You don't have to put it for the belt, but if you do, you could have Roman Reigns versus The Rock on night 1, have Roman Reigns beat him, retaining his championship, go into night 2, into facing Cody Rhodes, and then having Cody Rhodes beat him, finally making him drop the belt after all this time, and let him have that record still, because he would have still held that record for one more night, and then the second night, he would have dropped the belt to Cody Rhodes. That's what I'm just saying. Like, that's what you could do. In my opinion, that's what you could do. You could have Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the belt on the second night of WrestleMania, and on the first night, belt or not, you could have Roman Reigns versus The Rock and tell a great story and make the match that much spectacular. But that's just me. Let me know down in the comments what you guys would do if you guys were the booker for WWE for a night. Would you book Roman Reigns versus The Rock at all? Or would you book it for WrestleMania night 1 if you do? Or night 2? Would you book it for the belt or not for the belt? I want to know your guys' opinion down below. So just let me know any and everything when it comes to booking a WWE match. What would you do when it comes to The Rock versus Roman Reigns? How and when would you book it for? What pay-per-view? And would you book it for the belt? My opinion, like I just said, would be night 1, Rock versus Roman. Book it for a good 12 to 14 minute match. That's what I would do, 12 to 14 minutes. And basically, I would have, in the end, after that, Roman Reigns going over and winning. If it's for the belt, having him retain it. But if it's not for the belt, then I guess you can kind of have The Rock beat him. Like, you can kind of have him best him and beat him. If it's not for the belt, because then you don't really destroy his credibility. Still, you can still say that he's still the longest reigning champion. But much more than that, I don't know. I don't know what you could do. That's just what I would do. Night 1, no belt, Rock versus Roman. In that type of a match, I'd have The Rock win. And go into WrestleMania Night 2, Roman putting his belt on the line against Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes can then use that leverage as a storyline leverage, leaping point, saying, basically, last night, you lost to your cousin. So, how do you feel tonight? And then, Roman still being the confident, cocky type of wrestler, could be like, well, tonight I'm going to beat you, so whatever. And then, a good 15-20 minute match between him and Cody. And then, boom, finally, Crossroads is the final finish. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes wins and takes home the gold. That's what I would do. But now on the flip side, not speaking about The Rock and not speaking about Roman or Cody, speaking about CM Punk. Let's bring up CM Punk for a moment now. You see, CM Punk has been back since Survivor Series now. And CM Punk was a well-deserved superstar back in the mid to late 2000s. I shouldn't say mid to late 2000s. And he was that type of a caliber of a superstar and an athlete and storyteller. But in today's day and age, One, I don't know why they would even bring back CM Punk after he caused a legit fight backstage at AEW All Elite Wrestling. I mean, WWE had to have heard about that and had to have heard about how he was involved in a legit fight and not like a BS pro wrestling style fake fight. No, I'm talking about like a real legit brawl in the back off camera with one of the wrestlers at AEW. Like, WWE had to have heard about that, yet they still decided to re-sign him. I guess it was because they needed someone huge to bring out in Chicago that would draw numbers. One, the audience didn't know anything. We, the audience, didn't know anything. We might have had speculations and like theories because it is Chicago, and normally Punk's in Chicago. One, he lives there. Two, normally he's at an event in Chicago of any kind, within reason. So we kind of had a feeling, a theory that he would have been there, but we didn't know for sure. No dirt sheet websites were talking about, oh, CM Punk's coming to WWE, or oh, there was talks. No. Because like Triple H said in that press conference after the event, he said that CM Punk's deal didn't come until the night before, literally one night before the pay-per-view, and he didn't sign on till the day of the pay-per-view officially to coming out. So nobody knew until the moment of that he was going to be there. Again, somebody probably knew or had a feeling that he was going to be around the building, around the premises, but nobody knew for sure that he was going to be there. But moving on past Survivor Series, now he's coming in to the Royal Rumble, and this time around, I think they're going to do him justice, where in 2014 they didn't do him justice, and it was mainly because, in my opinion, I'm not putting 100% blame on this one wrestler, but it partially is his fault within a reason, like a fraction of a reason. Kofi Kingston, because Kofi concussed him in the Royal Rumble match. Again, I understand it was a complete accident. Accidents happen all the time in wrestling. You don't ever intend to hurt your opponent on purpose, unless you do. But Kofi Kingston didn't. He was just in the midst of the moment and trying to perform a move right then, and accidentally concussed CM Punk, costing him the match. Not that he was going to win it anyway, but he was supposed to be further down the line in the match. So at that point, Kofi Kingston ended his spot early because he had no choice. He was concussed. So they flipped the script and had Kane eliminate CM Punk from the match early. So with that being said, yeah. And then after that, the very next night, before Raw ever went on the air, about maybe 3 or 4 hours, 5 hours before Raw went on the air, Punk stormed into Vince's office and was like, listen, I don't care what you have to say. I've been hurt for the past 8 months, 9 months. I've been sick. I've been concussed several times, and you've never done anything for me. You've never allowed me to have time off to rehab my injuries. So what is it, Vince? Because all you care about is the dollar, and all you care about is when am I going to be on the show, how long am I going to be able to do a match for or a segment for, and what I can do for you. You can't ever see it my way and help me out when I need help out. I was hurt, I was sick, and you could have said, oh, Phil, take the time off. Take at least the next month off. If you need it, if you come back earlier than that, perfect. But if you need the month, take it. Because I understand that you're sick. But no, Vince wasn't like that back then. Back then, Vince was money hungry and greedy and didn't care about anyone but himself. At least this is what stories say. I don't know Vince personally. And I don't know the story personally. I only know based off of what one person has said about the story. So I'm not judging this one way or the other. I'm just giving facts based off of what one wrestler said. So yeah, Vince was like, no, blah, 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 blah. So CM Punk left in 2014. Now he's back in WWE almost 9.5 years later. And something that he said he would never do. Like, back then in 2014, he was on the red carpet for something. I forgot what it was, but he was interviewed by Chris Van Vliet, CVV. And he said on that interview, and I quote, "I will never, ever, ever, ever go back to WWE." Look at him 9.5 years later. Because a lot of people even told him, Chris Jericho told him on the podcast, that you can never say never. Because back in 2005, Jericho was released upon his own accord because he was burnt out creatively, and he was like, you know what, even I said at that time that I would never go back. And then 2 years later, they brought me back because they gave me the best idea ever for a storyline. But, you see, you can't ever say never in this business, because when you say never, it just never, ever leads that way, because you always end up back in the business, back in the WWE, back in their grasp, back in their fold. It might take longer to get there. Trust me on this, it might take a long time to get back there, but you eventually all do. Seriously, CM Punk was the longest guy to be out of WWE, in my opinion. I don't know the history before, in the past, in like the 80s, 90s, or whatever, but Punk was like the longest person to be out of the WWE before he decided to go back. 9.5 years? I mean, seriously, he did everything he could to not go back to WWE, but then something must have happened. He forgave Triple H, forgave the business for treating him the way they did back then, and now he's got the best spot ever. He could be winning the Rumble. In my opinion, I do see them finally giving him the victory of the Rumble and finally giving him the main event spot of WrestleMania. Whether it's night one only, it's still a main event. It still is technically the main event of a WrestleMania spot, the show closer. But I do see night one ending with Seth Rollins putting his world title on the line against CM Punk. Now that would be one of the best matches ever, because CM Punk made Seth Rollins. And I don't mean that like douchey wise, I don't mean that like rude or cocky wise, and I don't mean like he created him. I mean like he helped boost his career with the Shield creation. Like, the Shield was a creation of CM Punk as well as a couple of others in creative, but it was originally created by CM Punk basically as a way to help him further his career in 2012, 2013, around there. It was basically his way of helping himself further being a heel. He needed a team to help him. Now, did that really happen in the long run? No. It was changed because originally it was supposed to be Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Chris Hero or Cassius Ohno. It was supposed to be one of those, but it ended up being Seth, Dean, and Roman Reigns in the end. But yeah. But long story, long rants short, please. What I'm getting at is that CM Punk has everything in his power this time around to actually winning the Rumble and heading all the way to the main event of night one of WrestleMania to face Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, speaking of the World Heavyweight Championship, I'm going to go on a rant about this. Not that I haven't been on a rant right along, but a rant about the world title design. I miss the old school World Heavyweight Championship, the belt that Ric Flair's held, the belt that Batista held, the belt that Triple H held, the belt that most of the stars have held in the past. Like, that design, I miss tremendously. This excuse the language, this bull championship design, like, I just don't understand it at all. It's not eye-catchy, it doesn't catch on, but it's neither here nor there. If Punk wins the belt, I do want to see him bring back the original World Heavyweight title that he held when he beat Jeff Hardy for it. Like, I want to see that old school World Heavyweight Championship belt, because that really is nostalgic, and that really means a lot. Now, I'm going to go on a little bit of a break right now, so please stick with me, and I will be right back.
After these messages, We'll be right back.
Hello, Barry Wolf of AWM Studios Productions here. I just got one thing to say. Have you ever wanted great quality t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, whatever? All you gotta do is check out our merchandise store, bonfire.com/store/AWM Studios. And check out some of our amazing top-of-the-line products that we are selling right now on the website. But you better hurry because they're selling out quick. They are going and they're going fast. So you do not want to miss out on an opportunity like this. So please check out our merch store at bonfire.com/store/AWM Studios and check out our top-of-the-line products, whether it's t-shirts, whether it's hoodies, coffee mugs, notebooks, face masks, whatever you want. We've got them. Check it out on bonfire.com/store/AWM Studios for some of the top of the line products. Anytime we have discount codes, it'll be in the most recent video's description. All you gotta do is go down below, click the link to go to our website, and use the promo code that we provide, and you will get 20%, 15%, 30% off the product depending on what the sale is for. We will let you know down in the description box below. Again, please check out some of our most memorable merchandise items that we have at bonfire.com/store/AWM Studios. Thank you again, and we're about to return to the official video right here on AWM Studios Productions. Alright, welcome back. Welcome back. After that commercial message, I hope you got all that you needed to know about our amazing product line on bonfire.com/store/AWM Studios. Check it out. You're not going to be disappointed by the designs that we've created, by the designs that we've come up with. Alright, I'm going to cut it quick right now with this week's episode, with this week's video. More to come on this amazing YouTube channel as I am progressing daily. So please stick with me. The quality may not be there right now, but as we go along, I promise you, the quality will increase, the videos and topics will increase, and it won't just be about wrestling. So please stick with me here and follow me on my TikTok, AWM Studios Pro. Follow me right here on YouTube by subscribing and clicking that bell icon and checking out all my other past videos on this amazing channel. Some videos may not be that well. I'm not putting them down, but some people may not like them. But please check out all my other previous videos right here on my channel, AWM Studios Productions, because from this point forward, I am promising you all that any video I do upload, I will increase the quality, I will increase the editing process, and I will try to do it. I will try my best to make it that much better. Thank you again, and talk to you all in the very next video right here on YouTube. Take it away. Good night, everyone, and see you all in the very next video.